Good evening and welcome to SuperScreen News at 6. I am Olamide Onwunka. A female suicide bomber in Buniyadi, Yobe State, killed herself and injured 3 others when a bomb wrapped exploded. An eyewitness who declined to speak with journalists and declined to be identified said the incident occurred at about dawn prayer time at Fulatari Ward in Buniyadi, Yobe State. The Jamaatul Nasrul Islam (JNI), under the leadership of the Sultan of Sokoto State, Sa'ad Abubakar III, has condemned the federal government and security agencies for the handling of the abduction of the 110 Dapchi girls. The group said the abduction of the girls is the most potent action to frustrate the girl-child education. The Secretary General of the JNI, Abubakar Khalid Aliyu, said in Kaduna that a competent government would have sanctioned those implicated in the Dapchi girls' travails. You will recall that the school was attacked on February 19, 2018, while 110 pupils are still missing. The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to deploy every available security force in the search of the missing 110 Dapchi girls. They said this at a plenary session on Tuesday, in which a resolution was reached on how best to go about the rescue and mission of the girls. More details in this report.
The House of Representatives has urged the federal government to mobilize all security apparatus, including the Army, Air Force, DSS, and other agencies to rescue the missing Dapchi students. This is sequel to a motion moved by Honorable Goni Lawan from Yobe State and adopted by the House. Goni expressed concerns that despite various pronouncements by the federal government that Boko Haram has been decimated, the terrorist group has continued their actions.
We have information right now. Those girls are within the Yobe State. They have never pushed them to anywhere in Niger or Borno because we have a very big forest between Yobe and Borno. According to individual information that we are getting, we don't have to now those girls are there inside. And the military are aware. It's just like the visa now. It's just a matter for them to go to that place and rescue the children.
Reacting on the motion, lawmakers decried the continuous killings by the group without any proactive measures in place to forestall further occurrences.
The coordination between the security agencies is a given, but the citizenry, Mr. Speaker, that is where us as members of parliament who are engaged in our constituents must come in, that we must engage with them, assessing the true state of this war, assessing the true strength of Boko Haram, assessing the true strength of the ISIS-affiliated Boko Haram, and tell our constituents, increase the awareness with the Nigerian police, because the job of the military is to secure the territorial integrity of the state and hand over to the police, so that the police can be alive to their responsibilities.
We civilians to compliment the government effort. At least when we were taking these children in about 4 vehicles along this dashing road, there must be some people who must have seen them. Why have they not called the police station that is just about half a kilometer to the place? In fact, we all have responsibilities to do. We should not blame government alone, but government should also do. So we should provide under the Ministry of Education, provide for these security guards, and also the equipment that can be used, that is not dependent on the network or no network.
A lot has been said, really, and we're just descriptive of the present situation from all the debates I've had. But the truth is, we should address the core of the matter. What have we done right now to ensure that if these terrorists were to make an attempt this night to kidnap another set of girls from our schools in the northeast, that attempt will be thwarted? What do we do going forward to ensure that this national shame does not happen again?
The House, however, set up an ad hoc committee to visit Dapchi in Yobe State and report their findings back to the House.
Ahead of the 2019 general elections, more than 2,000 members of the All Progressives Congress APC in Rivers State has officially defected to the People's Democratic Party. The group, under the auspice of the Ikwere Youth Movement from the 4 Ikwere-speaking parts of the state, formally announced their defection in an event organized on Thursday.
Members of the Ikwere Youth Movement, which cut across Ikwere, Emuha, Obia, Akwa, and Port Harcourt local government areas, accused the ruling All Progressive Congress APC of marginalizing them as they made their defection to the opposition party official. Speaking to journalists in Port Harcourt, Vice Chairman of the group, Chijoke Ajaninwa, pledged to work with the PDP administration to transform the state's fortune for good.
They suffer. They're too much. As I'm standing here today, I play my politics not because of money. I'm a full bona fide IYM member. But ever since, nothing has been happening.
I want to promise you that after today, we will take this information down to the grassroots. We will walk down every area.
I have been in darkness, and just one word, Jesus Christ said, "Let there be light," and there was light. And wisdom has declared that in Ward 12 there in Obiabo at large, let there be light. Chidi is out of darkness. We are in for the progress of River State. That the members of IYM there have today declared and denounced.
On his part, Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Samuel Nwanosike, charged the newly defected members to ensure full participation in the ongoing continuous voter registration and express their constitutional rights next year.
If you know you don't have a PVC card, it's an opportunity for you to go to INEC and get your PVC card ready. Because come 2019, we will use our PVC cards to vote out all APC candidates. What you have done today with your leaders, Chijoke and Cole, you have sent a message to Abuja. Leadership is not made by man, it's made by God. The leadership of Chief Barrister Yoson Wike is made by God. And that is why the dividend today is very obvious for all to see. You have come, get prepared to continue the struggle.
The leaders of the People's Democratic Party in the state assured the new members of equal opportunities in the party.
And on the news now, Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has released 838 million naira to pay accrued pensions to its retirees for the month of February. A statement by the Lagos State Pension Commission, signed by its Director General Folashade Ononuga, said the amount was paid to 141 retirees under the contributory pension scheme. Ononuga said the payment of the accrued pension rights will continue monthly under the current administration. She assured all the retirees that the pensioner's identity card is in progress and will be provided as soon as the necessary approval is obtained. Meanwhile, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has arrested 2 suspects in possession of hard drugs valued at about 50 million naira at Malamaminu International Airport in Kano State. NDLEA Commandant Abros Umoru said the suspects, a man and a woman, were arrested on February 17th by the operatives of the command during a routine inward screening of passengers on board Ethiopian Airline flight number ET941 with the substances suspected to be narcotic drugs. Umoru said one of the suspects, Oweke Manuel, a 49-year-old native of Ire in Idemili South local government area of Anambra State, was caught with 2.180 kilograms of ingested heroin. He also said the quantity is single largest drug ingestion seizure recorded in the country in recent times. Now, as part of plans to empower women in River State, Governor Nyesom Wike says a special law scheme has been set up for the women to ensure they are properly catered for. Wike made this known when a group of women from Ogba Egbema local government area visited him at the government house in Port Harcourt.
Thousands of women from Ogba Egbema local government area of Rivers State, led by Grace Akoluku, commended Governor Nyesom Wike for the launch of the new empowerment initiative and for enhancing security in the area. Spokesperson of the women, Akoluku, also thanked the governor for his gestures and called for water processing plants and more empowerment initiatives for the women in the area.
To appreciate Your Excellency and government for the timely intervention in arresting the very troubling security challenges that plagued our local government for more than 8 years and the subsequent restoration of peace.
Reacting, Wike urged the women to ensure that they take up a habit of investing funds from the scheme into the small and medium-scale enterprise, thus uplifting their living conditions.
We need people to be alive for us to provide projects. If people are not alive, what are we doing projects for? Do we do projects for the dead? And let me assure of you, we will not relent. We will continue to do whatever we are supposed to do to make your life be meaningful.
Wike commended security agencies in the state and assured his administration will continue to work towards improvement of peace and economic stability in the state.
The security agencies in the state have done well in terms of making sure there is peace in Onega. The only place where I quarrel with security agencies is that they should move their hand in rigging election. That is where I have always quarreled with them, and I'll continue to quarrel with them.
The governor also urged the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and security agencies to ensure credible conduct of the 2019 general elections.
In other news, no fewer than 144 Nigerians, which included 4 pregnant women, were repatriated from Libya with the assistance of the International Organization for Migration, IOM, and the European Union. The returnees arrived at the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos, at 10:30 p.m. The returnees comprised 54 adult females, 4 of whom were pregnant, 7 female children, as well as 79 adult male and 4 male children. The Southwest Zonal Coordinator of the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, Suleiman Yakubu, received the returnees on behalf of the federal government. Now, about 280 contract and adjunct lecturers at the Rivers State University of Science and Technology, Port Harcourt, has appealed to the governor, Nyesom Wike, to pay their outstanding salaries for 2015 and 16 session and 2016 and 17 academic sessions. The lecturers who disclosed this to journalists said the government owes some of them as much as 23 months arrears. More details in this report.
Speaking with journalists at the University Complex in Rivers State, coordinator of the contract lecturers, Professor Sonny Amadi, thanked the state governor Nyesom Wike for the payment of 3.5 months arrears in 2017, but appealed that they look into the remaining outstandings.
What we are doing here today is to draw the attention of the governor to the painful plight of the above categories of staff of Rivers State University who are currently burdened with outstanding arrears of salaries in 2015, 2016, and 2016-2017, ranging between 8 and 23 months. This disclosure is coming on the heels of series of earlier appeals to the authorities to address the unfortunate situation and bring the travail of the affected staff to an end. It is on record that sometime in 2017, about 3.5 months of the arrears were duly paid by the government to relieve the prolonged dilemma.
One of the lecturers, Felix Bariko, who also spoke in the same vein, explained that the appeal is coming on the heels of series of earlier appeals made to the authorities to address the situation and put an end to their suffering.
This problem actually started in February of 2016, when everybody's salary was stopped in the state for biometrics. at the end of that biometrics in August, these categories of staff, contra, adjunct, sabbatical, professors and academic and technical staff were not captured in that biometrics. And that was when the agitation started, as if we are about to be left out, because we believe that he has not been properly briefed.
Professor Ahmad pointed out that the engagement of the contract lecturers helps to alleviate problems of the shortage of qualified personnel at the university, expressing hopes that the non-payment crisis will end soon.
You're still watching SuperScreen News at 6. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some news from the business scene. Stay with us. Welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. And on the business scene, the federal government says it has spent the sum of 1.38 billion naira to rehabilitate the Fontua-Gusau Highway. The federal government awarded the contract for the upgrade and rehabilitation of the 104-kilometer road in 2009. The Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, who was represented by the Director of Federal Highways, Busari Siriku, disclosed this in Fontua, Katsina State, while inspecting the rehabilitation of the road, and said the previous government awarded the road contract at 7.9 billion naira. Sikiru said the present administration reviewed the contract from 7.9 billion naira to 8.3 billion naira. He added that the current administration had been providing funds for the construction company. The federal government says it will prosecute tax evaders who fail to make and take advantage of the amnesty provided by the Voluntary Assets and Income Declaration Scheme to regularize their tax profiles. The Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, disclosed this at a VAIDS Stakeholder Symposium held in Kaduna State. In attendance of the program were Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai, the Accountant General of the Federation, Idris Ahmed, and Executive Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Babatunde Fowler, amongst others. According to the statement by the Minister of Finance, Media Advisor Oluyinka Kintude, the federal government would adhere to the confidentiality clause in the automatic exchange of financial accounts information in tax matters. And still talking business, Kebbi State Governor Atiku Baguda and the Chairman, Presidential Task Force on Rice and Wheat Production has assured Nigerians of President Muhammadu Buhari's administration's and determination to ensure rice availability and affordability. Bagudu disclosed this to journalists after the meeting with the Rice Distributors Association of Nigeria and Rice Millers Association of Nigeria in Lagos State. According to Bagudu, from the contributions of all the stakeholders, it is apparent that what Nigerians want is actually not about making subsidy available for rice production. Bagudu said the mandate given to the task force, which is under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari and Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, is to ensure Nigeria attains self-sufficiency in rice and wheat production. He also said making rice affordable and accessible such that Nigerian produced rice could be competitive as those of the imported ones. And still on the business scene, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, says the remaining aspects of the petroleum industry bill will be passed before the end of June this year. The corporation said that this was based on the assurance it had received from the National Assembly that the remaining parts of the Omnibus PIB, which was split into 4 different aspects, would be passed before the end of the second quarter. You will recall that the 4 parts of the bill, only the Petroleum Industry Governance Bill has been passed by the National Assembly and is awaiting the assent of the President. The Petroleum Fiscal Bill, Petroleum Administration Bill, and the Petroleum Host Community Bill are all waiting legislative deliberations and considerations. The Department of Petroleum Resources in Imo State has sealed 6 petrol stations in Owerri and Ngokpala for overpricing, under-dispensing and obstructing the activities of DPR officials. DPR Operations Controller in Southeast, Peter Ije, said the action was to ensure that the petroleum product marketers complied with the government-regulated price of 145 naira per litre of petrol. Ije said the sealed stations would pay a fine of 100,000 naira each for operational fuel dispenser at the time the station was sealed. He also said the department would continue to be vigilant to prevent illegal activities by petrol marketers in the state. You're also watching SuperScreen News at 6. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some news from the foreign scene and some sports stories. Stay with us.